There we go. Let's see how the stream is holding up. And are you going to pick up my voice? That would be lovely. And there we go. Right. Let's see how the stream is holding. That's going to sound a bit weird. The stream just came through my microphone as well. So let's kick this thing off. Hey there guys, my name is Martin, otherwise known as Bodger1, and this is the site BrainFart Game Ideas. So I normally use this just to mess around with some games, and there is a game that I've been a little bit interested in getting my hands on. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be starting some gameplay on the game Wasted. If you haven't heard of Wasted, it's a nice little indie game. Basically, it's a roguelike mixed in with like the Fallout aesthetic. So, if you want to give the game its full title, it is Wasted, a first-person post-apocalyptic pub crawler. Yep, you heard that right. Pub crawler. So, the way the game works is you start off by creating a character. They die, they will be randomly regenerated with a new character, but you have your own little base. You have to go into these, freezers, basically vaults, if you're going in the Fallout Poland, and work your way down and out and grab some stuff. And at certain levels, you will find some helpful little things called booze, drinks, whatever you're wanting to have there. That'll give you certain abilities. And you can drink them and either restart or keep going on. So it's sort of roguelike, sort of spelunky, that sort of thing. But it was an interesting little idea that I thought, hey, I'm going to give this a little go because, I don't mind a roguelike. And Fallout is one of my favorite gaming franchises. So it was one of those things where it's like, this seems a bit too good to be true. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stop off playing that little brain video that I made with Little Big Planet because I was bored. And let's transition this into the actual game. There we go. So you'll see the art style is, it's like chibi Fallout. So hopefully game audio looks like it's coming through. Awesome. All I need to make sure is if it's got music, I'm going to turn that off. I'll keep the sound effects on, but just not wanting music to be too high. Oh, and it crashed the game. Brilliant. Right. And so this is the perfect time for me to hit this button. Technical frickin' difficulties. Right, give me 2 seconds. I will get this one working. Ah, the joy of streaming. Okay, getting back into it. Thank you, game. Boom. Okay, new game. Just readjust my mic.
The year is 1980.
Ooh.
Tensions are at a boiling point between the US and the USSR after a thermonuclear blast eviscerates a small US Air Force base in the rural town of Damascus, Arkansas.
I
The US are
like this
swift to
style.
respond, firing a retaliatory strike at the USSR, which is dismissed by a Soviet officer as a false positive by their early detection satellites. As the American Titan II missiles plow through the Soviet countryside, the USSR is only able to mount a meager counterattack from remote satellite locations
What is
before
this?
it is completely wiped off the face of
Donkey
the earth.
Command?
China and France, in light of this sudden and terrifying American aggression, launched strikes of their own against the US. And after a short but intense series of reprisals, the world is razed to the ground by nuclear-armed fire, and human civilization along with it. Yet mankind is not doomed. During the Cold War, the great, the good, and the gilded invested heavily in next-generation bomb shelters, enormous self-sustaining subterranean cryogenic compounds designed to preserve life until the outside world becomes habitable again. Compounds which, due to cost-cutting business measures in the name of competition and industrial espionage, failed to work entirely. Coolers. Bathed in lethal radiation, the greatest minds of the 20th century and all living memory of culture, technology, and agriculture are lost. While on the surface, the very hardiest specimens of humanity cling to life, survive, then thrive. From the ashes, a new world emerges. An ersatz, post-apocalyptic, stillborn 80s continues indefinitely, populated entirely by the toughest, meanest, and outright dumbest of God's creations, the wasters. Years later, however many nobody can say, even those who can count, the barren desert landscape of the western wastes is host to bitter factionalized warfare. The wasters fight tooth and nail over the most precious of natural resources, a liquid from beneath the sands that fuels all of uncivilization. Buried deep within the cooler's chambers, the very radiation that killed off society's chosen few imbued their potable provisions with a sick green glow and a radioactive buzz. Booze, it affectionately came to be known, and those dumb enough to weather its taste found themselves taking a sharp detour off the human evolutionary highway, mutating in strange and confounding ways, and acquiring both permanent brain damage and a ravenous addiction to the stuff. Against this backdrop of organized chaos, the wasters scrabble in the dirt, looking for just a drop of the good stuff. And the right guy in the wrong place at the right time with the wrong drink could be a major headache for those who seek power.
Okay, let's work out why the stream is not streaming. There we go. Alright, so seems that the whole intro was heard but not actually seen, so let's just take it from here. So this is the beginning of Wasted, post-apocalyptic pub crawler. So I'm going to do character creation, and Let's go with actually spelling that properly. Martin Bodger. Yes. And we're going to be a guy. Okay. I'm not going to look like Skrillex. And let's go with the horribly sunburnt look.